Alright, so this is my first time doing a review with a different camera with recording audio. I do have my mic set up behind me, as you can see, so this might be a little weird. I'm just gonna have to figure it out as I go along, but I want to do a review of my vlogging camera, which is the Canon Powershot ELPH 340HS. This is what it looks like. It is a pretty badass camera. It takes full 1080p video. I believe it's 29 frames per second. Probably says 30 in the manual, but it actually reads in all of the video programs I use at 29 frames per second, which is okay. 60 would be ideal, but hey, you know, I only paid $100 for it on Amazon, which was pretty cool. It comes with a charger, obviously. You plug this into your wall and you put the battery in here. The battery itself is on the bottom of the camera. It just slides open. That just pops open. That's where you put your SD card and your battery. The battery life, it varies depending on if you're doing pictures or video. I've noticed if I'm doing just pictures, I can pretty much take pictures all day and the battery won't be affected unless I have it on the high burst mode, which is an awesome setting, by the way, because you can just you just hold the button down and it's taking photo after photo after photo. It's pretty badass. But if you're doing video, number one, the camera gets hot. So if you're gonna do like an 8-minute to 10-minute shot, it does get pretty warm, and that is one thing to keep in mind. The video quality is great if you have the right lighting. In low light, it does tend to get a little grainy. We've solved that problem with some new light bulbs in the house. If you're interested in the video quality, you can check out my other vlogs. They are on this channel, obviously. I will insert a couple of pictures at the end of this video so that you can see the picture quality. It can take very, very high quality pictures. If you mess around with the settings enough, you can get something that's pretty similar to a DSLR. I've only gotten like 1 or 2 really, really good pictures out of this. Everything else is alright. It takes great pictures, don't get me wrong, but I find it better for doing vlogging and videos. The zoom on that camera is phenomenal. This thing zooms in like crazy. We have a house that's like 2 blocks away, and I can legit like zoom all the way in their window. I know it's kind of creepy, but yeah, I tested it out one day and it zooms very, very well. Now on the sides of the camera here, there are ports. There's a flap here that opens, and you have an HDMI port and what looks like a some type of USB to do audio video, probably to component, which makes, yeah, that's probably what it's for. I don't know, I've never used them. I don't plan on using them. You want to use a class 10 SD card for this camera. That way you don't lose any frames per second and you don't lose any quality on it. Microphone is really good. I don't get a whole lot of noise out of it. Obviously, if it's windy, you're gonna get the wind in the mic. The mic is really, really small, and it's up top here. You probably can't see it. It is mono. It's not a stereo mic on this camera. I know the model previous to this had stereo, and that was a big deal to a lot of people buying this for video. They were upset that it's just mono, but I don't really seem to have a problem with that. Overall, I would say this camera is like a 7 out of 10. I think the camera is great. I think it's a 7 out of 10. It was worth the money I spent. This will get me through. The color, though, is not as great as the camera that I'm vlogging on right now. The color on this camera is much more vivid, and the color settings on this only work for pictures. They don't work for video, so that's a downside. And the effects as well, like the fisheye lens effect on this does not work on video. Only works on pictures. Kind of sad, but oh well. I like this camera. Buy this camera if you need a vlogging camera. It's really cheap and it takes great video. If you don't have $500 or $600 to spend on everything else that the other vloggers are using, this is a good start. So check it out. And it comes in a cool little box. Cool little box. That's the box it comes in. Thanks for watching.